Your fancy fresh haircut. It looks nice.
Thank you.
Meeting is it's being live streamed. I'm okay with that. Angel, when we get a chance, probably need to stop the recording from starting each time. Okay, we are live. Now you can pick
Fancy fresh haircut.
Oh, yep. So apparently it starts back then when I said fancy fresh haircut. All right, so you go ahead and take on over.
All right. Um, Hello, traders. Monday, June 24th. We're gonna be analyzing the market. We're going to see how the market has behaved for today. We're gonna make a little recap of what we've seen. Uh, there's been a lot of good opportunities. The market has been moving quite nicely. So we're going to be analyzing all of that and whatever brings us in on the live when we're watching it as it happens. So let me share my screen first of all. All right, I'm going to share you this disclaimer, which basically says that this broadcast is only for educational purposes. Um, all the examples that we're going to see here are hypothetical. You don't have to uh, rely on the past results that we're going to share. Past results do not guarantee the same outcome on the future uh, trades. So be aware of that. And uh, let's go and start with this. First of all, I'm going to share a little bit of our website. Remember, if you are interested in joining us in the RT family, you can do it. We have plenty of uh, programs that can uh, adapt to your trading style. Um, you can find also here all the live class schedule, the future events that we're going to have. Last week we had our meet and greet. There was a lot of traders that came with us. You can this little picture that we want to share with you. There was a lot of people, so this
We missed you
makes
being
my
there last week, Cesar.
thank you. Yeah, I wish I was there. And this makes
Yeah.
my heart so happy to see a lot of people uh, going there, and I see a lot of new faces,
Yeah.
and
Corey,
that's
who's in the room
something.
with us here right now, was there. So, and I see him. He's like standing right behind me. So,
Yeah,
um, so he
I
was there. There was a bunch of people there, and it was really, really great to have just to see it grow. I think they're gonna get bigger and bigger. So,
yeah, and I'm happy for that. Yeah, I have seen how these meetups has been growing,
yeah.
and that now that we see all these people really makes me happy,
Yeah.
and to
Dan said
see
he was
our
jealous. He wished
community.
he'd have been there.
Yeah, to see our family growing makes me
Yeah.
really happy.
Yeah, it's nice. All right. I'm
All
gonna hang
right.
out with Cesar here for a little bit. I think we both have to cut out a little bit early today, but we're gonna be hanging here. Cesar, I'm gonna give you back host so that you can shut things down if you need to a little later. So
All
just
right.
don't forget to make me co-host with you.
Yes, no problem. Uh yeah, well, we have a lot of information today. The market has been moving lovely. There has been some good opportunities for trades, and yeah. So to wrap this uh,
We have
part
some
of
news.
the Yeah, you are more than welcome to visit our website, responsibledaytrading.com. You're going to find a lot of good information. If you are new to trading, we have programs for beginners on up to advanced traders that probably you're looking for something a little bit different, something that you need to complete your strategy and to look at the market in a different way, and you just can't find what's that missing piece that you need. Well, probably we have it. And uh, actually, Lindsay, I wanted to share with you, I had one-on-one with one of our students today, and he was so happy with the results that he's having.
Dennison?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I've been looking at his trade. Actually, today I spent some time looking at some trades that had come into the Discord channel, and I could see that he's doing consistently. He's been pretty consistently profitable for his
yeah,
last few weeks of trading, which is really nice to see. And that's actually in a fairly short period of time that he's been with us,
yeah,
because he joined around the scholarship last year, I think.
yeah.
If I'm
And
correct.
he told me that he's super happy with the results that he has been having.
Yeah, that's good.
And yeah, and one thing that I told him is that he already found his trading style.
Yeah.
He is very, like you say, he's very consistent with the trades that he's taking. So there's just small adjustments that he needs to do. But
Uh-huh.
other than that, he's having great results, and I'm super happy for him.
Yeah. Now we just need to get Ray, his other brother. All three of them will be in there trading together, doing pretty awesome. So,
Yeah,
I mean, Ray has already purchased the program. He just not hasn't been really
active.
he's busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also was is a yoga instructor, so he's pretty busy with that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Well, what do we have in the way of news today? Did we have
Oh,
any
we
news?
have.
It's just moving
mm,
so slow right now.
Yeah, I don't think we have news for today. I don't think I saw news for today.
Okay.
But tomorrow we have news right after market opens.
Okay.
Remember, these times are Central Time US, so
Yep.
30
30
minutes after
minutes.
the market opens. Yeah. Same on Wednesday. We have uh, home sales and crude oil inventories.
Yeah.
30 minutes and an hour after market opens. And Thursday, we have pre market news. So by the time we are opening our charts, the news are going to be passed. And probably it's
Yeah.
going to be a good day for take
One of
trades.
these days, I'm going to get up early enough to trade all that pre-market news because sometimes that moves it really
Yeah.
big,
Yeah. Well, 1 hour before market opens, there's a lot of good opportunities. Actually, I think uh, last week, I don't know if it was on Friday or Thursday, that I was taking trades before market opens, and it was
Mhm.
moving really good. Yeah, I got like
Yeah.
15 points on that day, so it
And that's a
was
great
moving.
feeling because you're like done before the market even opens and you're just like done. But one
Yeah,
of the things is it has to, and, like in my opinion, it has to be one of those days where you have a lot of news pre-market to have it moving. Otherwise, it's moving pretty slow. And
yeah,
I'm typically either still asleep or just getting up and stretching, maybe doing a little bit of yoga, just getting my mind prepared for the day. So
yeah. I know. I
I
mean, I
did get up like
usually
that every day when my kids were still in school, but now that my kids are both out of school, I'm going to value
that's
that
what
sleep.
I was going to say. I mean, I usually get up at around 6:30, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
And so there was no school last week for a couple of days. So I was like, okay,
Oh, you just
I'm
woke up
going to take
anyways.
advantage of the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I started to
got it.
trade very early. Okay, so same thing on Friday. We have a couple of news before market opens and 15 minutes after, and 10 a.m. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very good week to
Yeah,
take
there's a
some
lot of
trades.
shakers and movers.
Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna have a lot of action and a lot of good opportunities.
Yes.
All right.
All right, now let's check out that market.
Let's move to the daily right here. All right. This is what we can see right now. I
Mm,
mean, we are still in a trend to the upside. The price is very above both EMAs. MACDs are above the zero line. We have this small retracement, but it's not very uh, strong. We're still having a change of colors.
yeah.
So if we pay attention to the last bars, I mean, we have this bar closing at the bottom of the previous. I think this small bar
Like a
was.
nice little reversal bar. The tiny bar was a nice little reversal thought
I think
process, but we still
that
had the
was
BDs
the.
going up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this small bar was the day. Uh, I think it was Juneteenth. What was
Uh-huh.
the name of that? Yeah. So
Juneteenth.
probably.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
didn't
because
have.
it was only a half day. So I see.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. So it didn't have a whole lot of data to kind of fill out the entire bar for that day.
Correct.
I mean, like that is the entire bar for that day, but it just didn't have a whole day's worth of data to make it a little
Exactly.
bit
We didn't
longer.
have volume.
Yeah. Like at this point, I'm going to need to see a really, really strong pullback from like the MACDs or something. You know, we do technically still, we're reaching an area that the MACDs do push down from. And we do, let me see, I'm going to request remote control again.
You have it.
Um, we do like have a little bit of divergence through, you know, what's going on here and right in here. I guess we're about even with here, but this is like an extreme high. We don't really reach that much higher. If we haven't reached that higher, any higher than that in a really long time, maybe right up in here. So it's kind of like those extreme highs. So we're going to expect a pullback. Kind of what I would typically expect at this point is a really strong pullback in the MACDs that would eventually get us across this bottom Bollinger Band and then pull back and create some divergence before we're going to really see a pullback deep into the EMAs or to even cross them. We've still got a strong area to
Yeah.
pull back into right in here that can, you know, give us an area to take that move to the upside. So, you know, even if we get a pullback here, which people are going to assume that is, you know, all of a sudden the market has made a huge shift to the downside, but really in those daily, the look of it, still have a strong trend to the upside. We're going to have to get way back below these areas, back below these major pivots to really shift the direction to the downside. And it's been a long
Right.
time since we've done that.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
pullbacks, yes. Direction change. I mean, pullbacks, yes, which will give us lots of opportunities to the downside,
Right.
right? But direction change in the
Yeah.
long run, not necessarily.
We are. Yeah. We're far from that. I mean,
Yeah.
probably looking at these examples right here, I mean, we were
Yeah.
with distance from the EMAs and we have a pullback on the MACDs, but overall
Yes.
we continue to the upside. Same here. We
Yes,
had,
that's the next area. Like even though it crosses that bottom Bollinger Band, we get a decent pullback, but in the long run, we have to pay attention to where that pullback is has the opportunity of turning around and going in the other direction. So yeah.
right. Yeah. So probably we can expect something like this. Probably just a pullback.
Hmm.
We still have a lot of distance from the zero line. So uh, we can expect a little bit more movement to the upside in the near future.
Correct.
All right, let's
Well,
move
hello,
to
Daniel.
the.
Nice to see you here. I like Daniel's been here with us a little bit more often lately. Thank you, Daniel, for joining in with us again. All right.
Move
So
to
let's
the
Oh,
28th.
then now this one's singing a little bit of a different source, little different song.
Yeah. I mean, the price was working in between the EMA, so
Yeah,
we or the price was not conclusive or on where it wanted to go. So, but you can see how this area of resistance was working as a support area, and probably
yeah,
is going to do it in the near future also. Probably
yeah,
we are a little bit below EMAs, and we're just crossing below the zero line. So probably the next area of interest will be around this area right here,
yeah.
and potentially we can expect for the price to work a little bit more time around this area in order to change direction and continue to the upside, or
Yeah, it's got some work to do for
break,
sure.
yeah, or break the support area and use it as a resistance and go back around this area right here.
I
So,
mean, the
but
BBs are starting to get lighter on the 28657 down there in the purple BBs, but they're still outside. They're not very strong. Now I say that, but if you don't mind, just really quick, if I could grab it for a second. I would actually just close that back up, but I would one, I would kind of eliminate this. Oops, wrong one.
yeah,
This really strong bar that's happening right in here, so we can get just a little bit more because that was a really strong bar, and sometimes that will kind of throw things off. But in the long run, it's not super, super strength. This is where we see a whole lot of strength with something like that. We got, I mean, but it's still got some strength. And we've got closes towards the bottom of the bar. We just have an area that held several times. We have
yeah.
EMAs that are still kind of open. We had an area of resistance that we pulled back into. And, we want to see the possibility for this BB to push down further past these areas. And we'd really have to see what the other, like the smaller tick charts are starting to say about that area. Are we getting strong reactions to it? Or are we going to be able to push through it really easily?
I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for the price to break that area. One,
Yeah.
because it was previously a resistance and now it's turning into a support. And two, uh, you can see how this area is very important because it wasn't easy to break the resistance and go uh, continue to the upside. And now we can see it on the opposite direction. We can see that the price was touching this area a couple of times, and now it's doing it again. So this is a very, very important area for the
Yeah.
price.
And also, if
So
we
it's
look at it, we're kind of stuck between two areas, right? Right, that 5560 area and the 5520. Yeah,
yeah,
so it's kind of like which one's going to be the one that finally breaks out. And we're just going to have to see which one we break through. It's not a very strong breakthrough that we had to make that new high. So I'm not giving this like all the weight or anything like that, but we are just kind of trapped between these areas right now. So it's like, are we going to start making these new highs and break back up here? Are we going to use these areas to push down and break back through there? So when that happens, you know just as well as I do that you have to start being careful about your choices in the trades into the areas that we're going into. And you have to actually limit your profit potential a lot of times because um, your heart of heart wants to be like, I've chosen this trade. We're getting down to this area. We're going down the strength. We're going to break through. But pattern tells you that's not going to happen. Right?
right,
Like you want
right,
it to be that I chose this right trade and we're going to go through here. But the pattern tells you be cautious because we're pulling into these areas and we're bouncing off of them. Just kind of like what we're seeing as we're pulling back a little bit off of it now.
right.
Um,
Yeah, and also we are. I mean, not right now, but the price has been moving the all-time highs.
yeah,
So usually when that happens, uh, the price has to like find its way to continue to the upside, or it's a brand new path that the price is following and discovering. So it's not always like breaking new highs and continue straight to the upside. It has to work its way uh, to the
Absolutely correct.
yeah. So right now, like you said, we're stuck in this area resistance and support, at least on the 28,657.
Yeah.
And so this is a very high time frame chart. Uh, and we are not using this one for trades or taking decisions, but it's very important for us to try to understand where the price is uh, going to be interested to go and visit new areas.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the
so
times like these, and especially for like the last few weeks, I have found myself relying on the 1597 610 233 combo
yeah,
because it is moving so slow that if I'm using the 10946, the largest one, I'm going to trick myself into believing that there's trades there that are not there.
right.
Because because I'm bored. I'm tired of
Yeah,
waiting, and so
yes,
it's really helped me to like start getting back in the swing of things because I've taken a lot of time off from trading, so I'm trying to get back in the swing of trading regularly and more often. And it is like riding a bike, guys, but it's also, you may fall off a few times, but it's just getting back in that mindset of, okay, I'm going to take what I'm going to take and then I'm going to step away whenever it's done. So like today I took one trade and I made 250 and then just shut it down because it was just moving so slow between things because I was just sitting there just staring at it trying to make up trades that weren't there.
yeah. We're gonna
So,
see it. We're gonna see it right now. There was a moment where the price was not going anywhere, and then we have a small breakout.
yeah.
If you want, we can start analyzing that. Also, yeah, 10946 when the market is moving slow, probably is not going to help us to make a decision to take a trade, but it is very helpful to see where
Right.
the intention of the price
Yes.
is going. For example, in this area right here, I mean, this is the area that we were stuck uh, earlier this morning.
Yep.
So there was no information.
Yeah.
There was no decision of the price. You can see how the bars are closing right in the middle of the range. So it can be very stressful if you're looking at this for a lot of time. I mean, from this bar to this bar,
Yeah.
well, like almost 2 hours looking at
And
this,
in that
the
little bit of
price.
space and that time, it's given a lot of different reversal bars. There's long
Yes,
reversal or short reversal bar long. And then you're also sitting at the bottom of this bottom Bollinger Band, and then you're moving to the top of it, and you're moving back down to the bottom, and you're saying, okay, well, is this the one that's going to push me through? And none of that is really like a strong signal. It's just a
right.
bunch of junk. Now you can minimize the charts and get better, more clear signals, but they're going to be short-lived,
Yeah.
which is what I did today. And then I caught myself, really thinking about that and finding that we're just pushing up against that resistance over and over and over again. So instead of actually taking the trades like right before it moved back to the downside, I went ahead and just like circled one that I was thinking about when I knew it was like, there's no way. I'm just trying to feed my addiction of I should be trading right now, So I just kind of circled it. And then when it didn't work out, I'm like, that's why you didn't take it. That's why you just
Hmm.
recognize it and you didn't take it. Because that's one that years ago I would have allowed myself to get run over with.
Yeah,
And
that's something that go on.
oh, I was just saying, just coming back into the game type thing has kind of helped me to, I got to remember these lessons for myself. again, I can't just teach them. I have to remember them and live them as well, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's something that is very challenging for us too. I mean, we we like to coach and we like to share the way we see the market and how everything works. But we're also humans and we're also traders, and there's a lot of uh, mental uh, work that we need to do. And something that I tell some of our students is, if you're not 100 uh, percent convinced that this is the trade that you want to take because of all the information that you're looking at, if you're not 100% sure that it's your trading style, don't take anything. Like you said, I mean,
Yeah.
you can market, but if you're not convinced that this is on your uh, trading plan, well, it's not your trade and you don't have to take it because you're going to force something that is not going to work for you. And even if it
Yes.
works, if you're not going to be 100% uh, satisfied of the trade that you took because it's not on your trading plan, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be, it's just something, it will be just luck, right?
Yeah. You know what I found? And it was like I really had to like tune in to myself. And when I found like when my palms were sweating and I was like short of breath, and I was either getting into the wrong trade or I was managing it out of fear. And so I had to start paying attention to what was happening to me physically when I was getting into trades, like what is going on? Like I can't even breathe right now, you know? And it's like I paid attention to those things and I started realizing when I started to feel that way before I took a trade, I was taking that trade because I was either, scared, had FOMO, fear of missing out. I
Hmm.
thought I was going to miss out on the trade because it had already moved and I just took it at the end. It just knew I was doing something against what I knew was the right thing to do,
Right.
just out of fear. So I had to pay attention to those kind of things for sure.
Yeah, it has happened to me also that uh, right now, for example, if I'm seeing this uh, environment, I would say, well, we are uh, going to the downside. We're below EMAs. We're very far from the EMAs. So naturally, we're going to continue down, right?
Yeah.
But no, you have to analyze all the information that you have before you take a trade, right? You can see that how the we are doing uh, higher lows, how the price is stuck in this level. So you're not going to be comfortable taking neither a short or a long. You're just stuck in this range, and there's nothing you can do right now but wait and expect for the market to give you more signals and something a little bit more to make you feel a little bit more comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, you want to make a little recap of what we saw today? I mean, there was this area right when the right after the market opened around this time, and
Are you in the same time zone as me right now?
no, I'm 1 hour behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 7:30 opened the market for me,
Okay.
and so uh this is Friday, right? Sunday. This is Sunday. Uh, when the market opened yesterday, we were in this area right here. EMA is very close one to the other,
Uh-huh.
and we finally saw this breakout to the upside, and it gave us, let's see, almost 25 points. So this was
And there's definitely opportunities. I'm not looking at the 233 because, like I said, I've got the 1597, 610, 233 combo up that I look at just because it helps me out a little bit more when it's moving slow like this. there were definitely opportunities on the 610 too to be part of that. So
Yeah, I mean, at this time, this was not so easy to take because you can see how uh, you can you can see how the price moved very fast when it
yes.
broke the EMA. Let's see what happened on the 610. I mean, we can see how
When it
the
rolls
price,
above the zero line right there and pulls back. Yeah, right there.
yeah,
Pops
this
up.
area right here,
Yeah. And then that's your next opportunity.
probably this area right here, this bar right here, the close all the way to the
Um,
top.
yeah, and the 233 may have been a little hard to grab some of those little small pullbacks. Um, but there are some that come into the EMAs and you because the MACDs are pushing down pretty strong then, so it'd be a little hard.
It was around this time, I guess. Yeah. So, I mean, the price was moving nice. MACDs were already above zero line. So, probably putting all the information together. I mean, I don't think it was easy because we can see a lot of speed, a lot of bars plotting
Yeah, I mean, it would have been
around
a
this
little bit more
area.
difficult because the pullbacks on the 233 and the BBs, I mean, they are outside the Bollinger Bands and pulling back, so it may have been a little scary to be able to get into some of those, but right where your cursor is about now, like right in here, would have
Yeah.
been about the only like real comfortable spot. But these are great areas if you were in it to either move the risk up while it's happening. This is some
I think I lost you. I think you're muted. Okay. Oh yeah. So these, like you said, these were very good areas. If you were trailing your target, probably moving your target a little bit further from your entry, you can do this and start moving your stop loss right behind these pullbacks and these areas. And like you have said, like the time to move your stop loss behind this pullback is when the price is uh, going above these pivots. So when the price moves this pivot, you move right here. And you have another pullback, the price uh, goes above the pivot, you move your stop here, and so on and so forth.
I
So,
apologize. My dog was losing her mind because someone came to the door, so I had to mute it. Otherwise, it's gonna
Duchess.
blow everybody's ears. I know, Duchess, so protective.
Yeah, we love Duchess.
She's a good dog.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, this was a very good opportunity to chase the price and start moving your stop loss behind these
Not
pullbacks.
chase the price. No, I know what you mean though, but just like move it up behind so that
Yeah,
because that's my favorite. And like, I wish Liddy was able to make it to these, but I think it's a little late for her in the evening. But because, well, she's in France, so she's probably like 7 or so for her. But those are her like signature trades right there. I don't know if you've ever looked at any of her trades, but she just gets into these and just follows these all the way up till it gets pretty much to the top and then ends up, with one trade for the day because she'll move up right in here, take you out here, and just be done for the day.
yeah.
So,
You need to have a lot of practice for those kind of trades because
yes.
you never know how far the price is going to go. But also, you need a lot of patience to.
Well, and we have a set rule. So the set rule to moving your risk up is, and we'll just even talk about it really quick. So price makes a little bit of a high here and it pulls back and then it pushes up. And once it closes above this area, my risk was back here. Now I'm moving it up here. So price pushes up, makes a new high, pulls back. Once it closes up here, moving my risk from back here to up here. Price pulls down, makes a new pivot, doesn't close up higher, doesn't close up higher, finally does here, closes beyond this area here, or I guess right in this area. Now I can move my risk up to here. Pulls back, closes back above here, and move my risk up. You may get stopped out in an area like this, but you're not really going to complain. You got a little bit of divergence. You've had a nice strong move to the upside. But if you don't move it up here, because you really don't want it to close at the high, you want it to push above. So you may, and then there's another strategy also where you kind of follow behind the EMA because you don't expect to get inside of it every time, but you do expect to get to it. So the other strategy is kind of follow behind the EMA, but it pushes up past the area, move your risk up, pulls down, pushes up past the area, move your risk up, and you just kind of keep doing that. Now here, if you're waiting for the deeper pullback, then you wait till it pushes up past this area and move your risk up. So it's just really a strategy that can help you stay into those trades and not be as fearful. A lot of times we're trading 3, 4 contracts. So you let a couple of them be taken out and then you just pull those other contracts off while it's moving up to the upside here and let it just kind of continue so you can take advantage of those moves. And if it
Yeah.
comes back and stops you out, you got profit anyways, right?
Yeah, and spoiler alert, that's something that we talk about in
In our
the next,
course.
yeah, in our
Yeah.
course,
We actually
something
go
that,
pretty in depth with how to do it with different contracts and different size contracts and things to that nature.
yeah, different combinations to, uh, if you are a beginner trader and you're starting with probably 1 or 2 contracts, something that you can something that you can do and not risk too much. Or if you are an experienced trader and you are using more than, I don't know, 3, 4 contracts, uh, we can give you some tips on how to manage those risks
Yes,
and try to
absolutely.
make most of it.
Well, and also, these are ways that I find works best for me. There are other ways that work better for other traders because, our job is not to teach you to trade exactly like us. Our job is to find where your strengths are and to teach you to trade like you. So,
Right.
finding those things that work a little better for you um, in the way you manage your trades are, something that we may not necessarily do, but it's something that works out for you. So we find the best way to make it happen. So
Right. Yeah. What we teach is exclusively to understand the market so you can uh, make your own decisions and try to read the market. And like you said, it's we're not going to teach you like a square strategy that it's only going to work if you do what we do. No, we're going to teach you
yeah,
to be independent and to make your own calls and to find your own trading style. Like we were
definitely.
saying, I mean, it's very different the way Liddy trades from Denison, from Dan, from me, from you. I mean, we all have our particular trading style, but they all come from the same root. They all come from the same uh, curriculum or course, that,
Yeah.
which is the RD course. So we have all learned the
Well, and
same
there's things that
information,
you do that like the way there's trades that you take that I'm not comfortable with taking.
right?
But I've even had conversations with Dan about them, and it's like, they work out for you because this is a pattern that you're used to seeing. It's not a pattern that I pay attention to as much, but it's a pattern that you use, and you still use the ideas that we use, but you just see it in a little bit different way. And
Correct.
I think that's important in because we all trade a little bit differently, and if we didn't, then the market would be going in one straight line, and it allows people to create an edge and do things like that. So And it also allows me as an educator to continuously learn because I learn a lot from y'all. And, if you, there's no way I'll ever know it all, and so it allows me to learn and see new things and make adjustments to my own style and trading to be able to do better as well. So,
Yeah, and that gives us a lot of freedom to uh uh from the exercises from trading on sim playback, and you see all the information and you are getting used to the patterns that you're feeling more comfortable taking. It's not something it's not a square strategy. It's something that you can adapt to your style, and uh, something that I used to struggle with before meeting RDT. It was that the strategy that I had, it was so strict that you have to follow the exact same thing every day, and the market
mm,
is not going to behave the same thing the same way every
definitely
day.
not.
Yeah. So with RDT, it's easier to analyze what the market is giving you right now at this moment, and if there's an opportunity for a trade and it meets your rules, you're gonna take it. But you don't have
Yeah.
to wait for the price to go above this level and then below and then do this and do that and blah 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 blah. So
I worked
it's
with a
it's
strategy that was every time you pull back into the 610 EMAs, you were to take the long trade if you were above, the short trade if you're below. And that would have gotten you run over so many times trying to take that every time it pulls. It didn't give you the opportunity to let's pay attention to the other things that are going on. That says when we pull into this area, that is not quite time yet. And
right.
it's just as simple as paying attention to those little things when you pull into the area and say, okay, normally I'm going to pull into this area. I'm looking for the trade setup. What's telling me that is in favor of this trade? And what's telling me to hold on just a little bit longer before the trade actually sets itself up? So,
Yeah, that's something that I was talking with Dennis on earlier today. That it was, you don't have to uh, pay attention exclusively to one chart. I mean, you have to see all the picture and go from big chart to medium to small chart. And if they all agree with the same story, then you have a trade. If you're not convinced, if something is telling you more up and the other one is telling you more down, well, you are not going to force a trade just because you want to be in the market, right? You have
right.
to be patient, wait,
Well, that's the
and
idea, right?
right, yeah.
Most people do,
Well,
honestly, if we're being realistic, most people do force themselves into trade. And I was just actually having a conversation with one of our students about this the other day, simply because we live in a world where we're told we're supposed to work from 9 to 5. And it's like,
mhm,
well, if I'm not sitting here doing work every day, then what am I doing? And that work can legitimately be done in anywhere between, sometimes I'm done in 5 minutes, sometimes I'm done in 3 hours. But if I'm sitting there the whole time just because I feel like I need to be working and need to be in the market, then I am going to get into trades that are going to lose because I'm
right,
forcing myself into the trades.
yeah.
Daniel
That's
Gadea says, I
something.
do it all the time, getting better slowly. You mean like forcing yourself to take trades? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
need to
there's so
work on
much,
our patience.
so much value and there's just so much value in waiting, right? And just sitting and paying attention. And sometimes that means I'm waiting for 2 hours before I take a trade. And it doesn't, and sometimes it means I just don't take a trade. Number one, because maybe I'm struggling to stay focused for that day because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get into things that just aren't going to work. And but I'm trying to force it to happen because I've been tired of waiting, you know?
That's Yeah, that's something that I was talking with Dan a few weeks ago. Like, imagine that you are going, someone is telling you, you're going to come to work for me. You're going to take the trades that I'm going to teach you how to take, and you're going to be here for 2 hours, and then you are going to have the rest of your day for yourself to do whatever you want to do, and you're going to get paid like if you were in front of a computer from 9 to 5. Will you take that job? So it is something that uh, when you invest your time into learning about day trading, you're investing your time to make your life easier, and to you don't have to rely on being in front of a computer all day, uh, probably doing something that you don't like,
Yeah.
instead of, like, you can have the rest of the day for yourself and
Yeah.
not
Or
worry
work on
about
other
anything
things,
else.
other ways that you enjoy making money.
Right.
I'm definitely a firm believer of eggs in all kinds of baskets, right? There's no reason just to put all your eggs in one basket. And while I enjoy trading, there's lots of other things I like to do with my time and energy. And some of that other stuff makes me money and it's great. So,
Yeah.
it's great to be able to do that. And that's also like one of the reasons, like when I have scholarship students come on, I do try and bring them on as to work here at Responsible Day Trading as well, to give
Thank
them
you.
more than one opportunity. Like Cesar was one of our scholarship students as well, to give them more than one opportunity to make money, right? So you can make money by working with the company and also being involved with trading still at that point. And you can also make money by your own trading. So
And that's
there's
something that,
different opportunities.
yeah, that's something that I do uh in my life. I mean, I look at the market in the morning, a couple of hours, and when I'm done with trading, I have the time to continue with the all the RT stuff that we've been doing, and I have that opportunity to uh, trade in the morning.
Yeah.
That's something that I love doing, and
Yeah.
then do something for RTT, and feeling like you're uh, also doing something and working,
And
and it's
helping other
not ju-
students grow and things like that
yeah.
too. Yeah.
That's something that I was telling Denison this morning, that uh, I this new uh, side of my life that I didn't know that I liked, to be a
Coaching.
coach.
Yeah.
Yes, I if you told me like a year ago, hey, do you see yourself coaching and teaching other students, like doing the same thing that you do? I will be like, no, I don't know how to explain myself. I don't know how to uh, give my ideas and make it clear. But I've learned that when you're passionate about something, it's very easy to share your ideas and your knowledge, and make things make sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's a it's a new era in my life that I'm enjoying a lot,
Well,
and
I'm glad to
I
hear
really,
that.
yeah, I really love to talk with Denison and Alejandra, and even Ethan when I did his homework review. So there's a lot of
Talking about some
things.
of our Spanish students, and then my son also, who's going through our course as well. So he's going through the course and he's been doing some of his homework with him. So I
Yeah,
figured
that's
it was
something
better than
that
doing it with mom, all the time. So,
a new perspective.
yes.
Yeah, and that's something that I really like. That I didn't know that I liked, but
Yeah,
now I enjoy it a lot.
that's good. Yeah, I mean, to be very honest, I didn't mean to turn today into like, where were you that when podcast type thing, but all of the I've worked for several, if y'all don't know a lot about me, I've worked for several day trading companies in the past, and every one of them promised to help people to do well and gave them hope that they were going to do well, but really didn't get them to that next level. And I made a commitment to that was going to be different here for people. Now, has every student that's come through here been successful? I can't say that's true because it really depends on the amount of commitment that you give to it and the openness that you have to coaching as well. Or if you are someone who wants to do it on your own, if you are in that position to, because we do have the opportunity for someone to go through the course without coaching or anything like that, but if you have the commitment to really spend the time to learn and to self-evaluate through that. And so I made a huge commitment saying, this was going to be different than any of the other ones I've been involved with because I wanted people to be able to really come through and be proud of their decisions in the market, feel good about the things they've done instead of beating themselves up, which is what I found a lot of students doing before because a lot of educators would do that to some of the students, almost berate them for trades that didn't work out instead of saying, here's why, here's what we can see if we're looking at the other environment. Some of them just are not going to work, guys. It just happens. But a lot of them can be avoided by paying attention to what patterns are going on, what areas are holding, what MACDs are telling us, at least in the way that we trade. We can avoid a lot of the trades by not being too early, paying attention to where our risk goes, all those kind of things. And then just self-evaluating too, or evaluating the trades that you took instead of being ashamed of them. Look at them and say, man, I didn't do well. How can I do better next time?
Mhm.
And really having to look deep into the things and the reasons why you took the trades, which some of them may just be because you were in a crappy mood that day, like
Yeah,
you were thirsty, you were hungry, you argued with your children or your dog, or you didn't sleep well, or you've got a lot of like money issues on your mind, and that will hold you back whenever you think about the issues of what's, if you're trying to make money to make up for a loss that you have somewhere else. So, just coming in with a clear, focused head and saying, okay, why am I doing each one of these trades? What is it that's telling me that this could work out? What if it's telling me that I need to pay attention to it's time to get out instead of holding on because you just want the trade to work out instead of reading what it's doing. And I'm going to step off that soapbox. And
yeah,
you had more
that's
to say, sorry.
no, that's right. That something that I tell some of my students is that when you're in the market, you are in the market, and you have to uh, leave all your problems behind. And there's something that I said this morning. I mean, if you are having issues with your family or school, neighbors, whatever, uh, but you want to trade and you want to be on the market. If you are looking at your charts, are your problems going to disappear? They're going to continue there. You just have to mute them, and you have to pay all your attention in the charts. And when you're done with your hour or 2 hours that you spend on the market, then you can go back and say, okay, I need to work on this, and I have to find a solution for this problem, etc., etc. So when you're in the market, you just have to block all the other thoughts, and you have to block all the problems that you may have. If the problems are very difficult to solve, well, probably it's not a good day to trade.
Mm-hmm.
Just skip that day, tomorrow is going to be a better day. Probably your mind's going
And
to
you
be
also need to make
clearer.
sure all your other windows are closed, like, Facebook, Instagram,
Right.
WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, even all that. You want to close that and put it away because none of that matters except for what's in front of you and with the market.
Yeah, and
And
I was.
I've had to learn that lesson as well, because you'll hear that little ding and you'll just be like, oh, what's going on over here on this
Hmm.
screen? Well, I've got three screens. So, what's going on this
Yeah.
screen? And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I even have to like silence my phone to where it doesn't even buzz anymore, which makes a
Yes.
lot of people upset because later on I forget to turn it back on and it's just I'm living in a silent, happy world, and they're like, man, why aren't you answering my call? Oh, I turned it off when I was trading earlier and I didn't want to deal with it and just I kind of enjoyed it from that moment on. But
Right.
the only ones that really
Yeah.
get on to me about it are my kids, though. So,
Yeah.
Mom, you don't have any reason to be on silent. Oh, I don't. That's what you have no reason to be on silent, Mom. Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about the move that happened to the upside and what's happening right now?
Yes.
Since we
Uh,
were busy just chit-chatting, so apologize, guys.
I mean, we can see on the 1597 that we have this area of resistance and support that is being respected. Also, we have the, on the 1597, the EMAs are telling us that we are still on trend to the downside. Um, the price reached this area, uses as a resistance, and we can see that the MACDs are above the zero line. But can we see on the 4181 that it's the next chart uh, to look at? You can see how the price use the EMA as resistance at the same time as the MACDs use the zero line as resistance. So potentially we're still on a trend to the downside. If the price if the price continues to move to the downside, the next area that we will be interested to put our targets will be around this area, the support area. And once the price reaches this area right here, probably potentially if it breaks, we will be looking around the next area will be this area right here on the 55 20. So 10 points from where we are right now. Like we were saying before, we have a lot, very strong area of support and resistance on the high time frame charts. And this is also telling us that we are looking for more down. I mean, the price has been moving up, above and below the EMAs. We have a cross to the upside, and now we're crossing to the downside. So technically, we are still looking for more down. Potentially, that's what we are going to be looking at. We can see the change of color on the 1597, but we are in the middle of the EMA. So, uh, what I would like to see to look for a short, well, price doing this, using the EMA as resistance and continue down, and MACDs crossing below the zero line using it as resistance and moving to the downside. So this will
Yeah,
be my scenario if I was looking for a short. So it's not going to be like right away.
it couldn't cross that
Look
top
for a
Bollinger
short.
Band on the
We are still
1597 if it's
stuck
going to go.
on a range.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
So uh, you can see now how the MACDs are overrunning the zero line, and we're looking for the next EMA, potentially to use it as resistance. But like I said, right now we have mixed signals on these three charts. Uh, Potentially more down on the 4181, potentially changing direction to the upside on the 1597, and we are above EMAs and zero line on the 610. So we will need more information to be sure where the price wants to go.
I mean, we're like technically kind of in the middle
You
of that,
agree?
like that high and low,
You're
right?
muted.
No, I'm not muted. Hello, hello. It's not working anymore. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I think you're still muted.
I'm not. Oh, you can't hear me, Cesar. Okay, so Corey can hear us both. Thanks, Corey. I was like, I think I see my mic moving. I don't know what happened.
No, yeah,
Well, it's
it
funny
was
because you were
it.
talking earlier and I was like saying something and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you because you just kept going. But now it makes sense that you couldn't hear me.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. So what I was gonna say is you're right. I'd want to see it break through there, pull back and come back down. It was pulling to that bottom Bollinger Band. So now it's gonna have to break through here if we want to see it move up further. We're kind of in that middle spot of that that area of support and resistance that's been holding right in here for a while. It does have a look like it should go down, but it's had the look like it should have gone up here. It has a look like it should have gone down here. So that's why I'm saying in these situations, for me, it feels more comfortable to take those short little bursts and then just be out. And if one of them does go for the long term and I get out early, I'm not going to be mad at myself for it because the trend had been being stuck between these areas. And legitimately, we're right in the middle of those areas now. So technically, we'd be wanting to see the roll off here, the push back down. But we can see on the 10946, even though there's like 700 ticks left, it's trying to pick up some strength to the upside. The EMAs are weak, so it would be easy to break through to the upside, but also be easy to roll off to the downside. So, you have to really pick and choose what it is. There it is. Sorry, 4181 back over here. What it is you're going to use at that moment. And if you've got the move already taken off, so if you're anticipating the long to happen here and you try and get into it here, it may not work out as well because it has an opportunity to pull back with the weakness that's happening here and not breaking through the top Bollinger Band and kind of being in that middle space. So it is kind of I hate saying this, but like the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right? So it has a good look to moving up, but we're still stuck in that range, right? And it
Right.
has a look to moving down. So you can see that happening here also.
Yeah.
So
Also here in the 4181, like I was saying, I mean we still have this EMA, and it's going to be
feels
hard
like it
for
has more of
price.
an opportunity to go down, but it's got to prove it to me, you know?
What was that?
I said, it feels like it has more of an opportunity to go down, but it
Yeah.
has to prove it to me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, we are getting mixed signals right now because we are in this area right here, resistance
Yeah.
and support. So 610 is telling us one thing, 1597 has not yet make up its mind. So potentially wants to continue to the upside, but we're still with this resistance right here. And the 4181 has this big
Ooh.
EMA right here that can be used as resistance. So
Yeah.
we need
It's like
more
trying to
information.
trying to show you like, oh, okay, yeah, now it's giving signals to push to the upside, but we're still just stuck in between those little areas. So,
Right.
and we live off of pullbacks. So I think of it like, we're just picking up a little bit of the crumbs along the way, but there's enough crumbs to have a feast if we pay attention, you know? So,
Right.
um
Even when we are trading with just one contract,
Yeah.
uh, if you can read the market right, you can make a good profit every day. I mean, 5 points can make $250, and if
Yeah.
you if you sum that for a week, that can be a good income. I mean,
I agree.
and then you
Absolutely.
can
I just find it's less stress for me if I'm trading with more than one contract because I can take the first one out and let the other ones run. But it is absolutely possible with only one contract. But then we also have things like, prop firms that can help you to be able to trade more than one contract and not have to worry about filling your own accounts, those type of
right.
things.
Yeah, that's something that each trader has to analyze and to uh, make sure what works best for them. Probably
Hmm.
if they have the capital to open their own account, and of course, if they have the training to have a good risk management, they probably that's what works best for them. Some other traders probably they prefer to spend less capital to invest and work with a prop firm
Yeah.
and manage their risk in a different way. So there's a lot of styles that can work for a lot of traders. You just
Yeah.
have to find what makes you more comfortable.
I know that you have to get running a little early today, and I do as well. So probably we'll be okay with shutting it down here shortly,
Right.
especially because, if we look at what we have seen, have just looking at the 4181 even, we've had what, like 5 bars created on the 4181 since because we started. Oh no, I'm sorry, we started at 12 your time. So right in here with a move to
Yeah.
the side. So we've had all of this right in here. So basically, we've had a move up, a possibility for a move up here, and then you would have to have exited because it's really showing that it's trying to make the pullback. But I guess you wouldn't have to exit. You can do whatever you choose. I would have probably exited with a little bit of the pullback, but I just keep going to the upside here.
Yeah, I think it's
Ten
going
nine
to look
forty six MACDs are starting to try and pick up the strength to the upside.
it,
If you want to bring that up really quick.
yeah, I think it's going to look for uh
A little bit further back
the
to the EMAs.
small EMA, yeah, on the 10946.
Yeah.
And we can see that probably we're going to have a lot of distance from the
Uh-huh.
MACDs to the zero line. So potentially, my ideal scenario would be a flag reversal around this area and continue pushing down. And I don't know, it's going to be this area is going to be very interesting in the next couple of days.
It's once it
So
breaks out of that area, it'll be nice to see what happens.
yeah, yeah, this support and resistance is going to be
Yeah, it looks like it should be rolling from this area to the downside, the way that the EMAs are rolling over on the 10946. That would be our typical thought process, would be pull back into this area below the zero line rolling. But if the MACDs are picking up strength, this is what I was talking about when earlier they said, well, if you're pulling to the area, automatically take the move in that direction. If you still have a lot of strength as we're reaching that area, there's a chance that we're either going to pull up to here or maybe a little bit higher before if. I always like to say when, if it turns around, when we get there, if it turns around. Because what we're doing here is constantly reevaluating what's happening
yeah.
at that time. When we reach that area, are we expecting that area to hold? Are we expecting to break through it and use it as an area to bounce and move to the upside? Are we expecting it to pull into the area and use it as an area to bounce to the downside? We're doing that by paying attention to where our MACDs are, the strength of our EMAs, the price action that's happening at that area, the flag reversal bars that are happening, hard close down, hard close up, tiny little reversal bars. multiple bars at the area. And what are our other charts telling us? Are they telling us that it has the possibility to continue through that area? And so it's a constant reevaluation as we get to those areas
Right.
of what we anticipate for them to break or hold. That's
That's
another
something.
reason if we're doing it all day long, you're going to lose your mind because you're going to be
Yes.
mentally exhausted.
That's something that I was telling Dennis on today, that probably you're going to see the chart and you're going to uh, probably think that it's going to continue long. But if it's not working, you have to reevaluate that scenario that you just made and you have to update it. Probably it was going to be a long 10 minutes ago. But if
Yeah,
now
right
it's
in
looking like
here.
a short,
Oh, I got
yeah.
a sneeze attack coming on.
Yeah, I mean you have to be open to change your scenarios. Probably in 15 minutes, it's going to tell you, no, 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 we're changing direction. We're going to shift to the downside, and you have to make adjustments so your scenario be aligned with what the market is really telling you. So in areas like this, you don't have to be like stuck with just one prediction. You always
Yeah.
have to be open to change it and to update it to what it's more probable that it's going to happen.
Well, what we like to think, right, is with when we enter a trade, typically our area for an exit is we're expecting the market to turn in the opposite direction. It's typically the reason we exit. Otherwise, there's really not a reason to exit besides you
Hmm.
hit your targets or you're feeling uncomfortable or whatever it may be. So we're actually looking for the market to give us a convincing um, trade in the opposite direction for our exit. So technically, you could be entering and exiting and turning around, coming the other way. Now, that's not the smartest thing to do because a lot of times we exit early, sometimes we exit late. So that could really put you in a predicament if every time you exit, you get back in the opposite direction. But the only reason we really have to exit is because we're seeing the possibility for the trade to come back against us, which means we're looking for it to move in the opposite direction.
Right.
So any real reason for an entry could be a reason for a trade in the opposite, or exit could be a reason for a trade in the opposite direction. I am gonna have to run here in just a second, guys, because I feel I don't know, my allergies are going buck wild. Oh, I think I did that. Sorry. Um, we had all that rain, and now my allergies are back on full force. I think I just need to go get some allergy shots. I don't feel bad, Corey. Thank you. This is like, I think it started Thursday, right? And it's just been like strong ever since. But if I'm really being real, it started like last October. I don't know. I just must have all of a sudden become allergic to something that I eat or something. I have no idea. Anyways, that's besides the point. You guys don't want to hear about all that. So, um, but thank you for being here, Corey. If you have questions, definitely reach out to us. Daniel, it's good to see you in here. I'd like to see some of your trades, send them in. Let's see what we can do to help you move to the next level. Tim, kick butt as always. And hopefully you saw my message. I think it was either on Discord or Facebook. So you know when our next meet and greets are, so you can come and join us. So I'm pretty sure I sent you a message. So I think we're good. Oh, okay. I'm the worst about seeing Facebook messages, so I'm just going to tell you that right now. So I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I will get to them, I promise. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Next week, I'm running the show. No, next week, I think we're having Davis do it. I might be here around. We had Davis and Dan and Angelina pretty much on vacation this week. So Cesar and I are each taking a little bit of time off next week. So I keep telling myself I'm going to be here, but unless they absolutely need me, which I mean, I'm not going for, I'm going to be here anyway. So. So it's just the way it works. But anyways, all right, guys, thank you for coming, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. If you got questions, reach out to us and let us know. Okay. All right, guys, have a great day. Cesar,
You
you have a great
too.
day. All right.
Thank you all for being here. And
Yes.
well, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and Cesar, you are host, so you will have to close it down.
All right. See you guys.